What makes a season of television impressive? More specifically, what makes the first season of a long-running television series stand out? A television series where the first season is meticulously crafted to set up for the future, a privilege many shows lack. For example, Breaking Bad famously was constantly under the threat of cancellation, and plot decisions were basically made on the fly. Jesse Pinkman, the show's secondary protagonist, was almost killed off during the first season, if not for Aaron Paul's performance in pressing Gilligan and the other creatives. While it is very impressive to create a great show almost on the fly, it is not the way of developing a series I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a show where every single story moment can take years to develop, where the creators show insane patience in letting their ideas sit dormant before bringing them back when you least expect it. I want to talk about a show that uses its first season to its theoretical maximum potential. I want to talk about Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is my most watched show of all time. One of the reasons I love it and keep coming back to it is its consistency. From its first episode to its last, Attack on Titan maintains a level of quality most shows fail to peak at. That being said, despite all the twists and turns, I still find Season 1 to be the most impressive season of the show, and one of the most impressive seasons of television I have ever seen. Attack on Titan is a very cumulative narrative. Each season builds on top of the last, and by the time you get to the final season, you're working with 3 seasons of plot where even a seemingly small detail from the first season can still impact the narrative. A story as complex as this could fall into the trap of earlier seasons operating as almost an exposition machine, constantly needing to convey information so the audience is not confused in the future. Amazingly, Season 1 of Attack on Titan, despite needing to fulfill so many objectives as our introduction to the world of the show, does everything so effortlessly. It does this by not getting bogged down in the show's admittedly complex narrative and plot structures, but by instead focusing on what matters: character and theme. By setting these concepts as the show's guiding lights, Attack on Titan was able to make a season of television that both works on its own and perfectly sets up for the show's future. To illustrate how Season 1 utilizes its themes and characters to set up future seasons, I'm going to counterintuitively look at the final season of the show, Season 4. Season 4 is the most distinct of the show's seasons, being the time-skip season, giving us a lot of new plot elements and characters to juggle while also wrapping up the series. Despite this, I feel like Season 4's vastness is never overwhelming, thanks in large part to how Season 1 sets it up. It may seem counterintuitive to look at a season besides Season 1 while trying to explain why Season 1 works, but so much of why Season 1 works is how it operates both on its own individually and as a stepping stone for future episodes of the show. So, I'm going to look at plot elements of Season 4 and explain how Season 1 makes them work. In Season 4, there is significant debate surrounding Eren and his willingness to go through with Zeke's euthanization plan. For most of the season, the scouts, along with us as an audience, have been closed off from Eren's mental thinking process, a contrast to seasons 1 through 3, where we have been privy to Eren's internal dialogue. When it is stated that Eren is going along with Zeke's plan, there is confusion from both Eren's friends and us as an audience, as this does not line up with the Eren we know. The Eren we remember is Season 1 Eren, a boy who would never go along with a plan to get rid of the Eldians. A boy who, when asked why he wants to explore the outside world, responds, "Because I was born into this world," establishing that Eren is driven by his right to exist. Therefore, when a plan is devised to remove that very right, it seems shocking that Eren would go along with it. Still, we are left in the dark as Season 4 progresses, not being sure of Eren's true motives. The Eren we know would never go along with the plan, but Season 4 makes the point that things have changed since the time skip. The simplicities of Season 1 may no longer be true. We get to see Eren's true motives in episode 78, where Eren and Zeke are finally united and get to use the power of the founding Titan. Zeke asks Eren to tell Ymir to enact the euthanization plan, and shockingly, or not shockingly, depending on your belief in Eren to stand by his beliefs, Eren rejects Zeke's plan. When asked by Zeke why he does not want the euthanization plan to come to fruition, Eren simply responds, "Because I was born into this world." This line confirms that Eren is still the same character he was in Season 1, and is still driven by the same ideals he was all the way back then. It is a great example of how an even seemingly small detail in Season 1 is paving the way for future developments. Eren as a character does not gain new beliefs in Season 4, only twists his old ones as the world of Attack on Titan gets increasingly larger and morally gray. This makes Season 1 feel very rewarding to watch, as you get to see the groundwork of Eren's character be laid out, oftentimes with pure intentions, only for those same pure character traits to result in terrible atrocities as the show progresses. While the simplicities of Season 1 may no longer be true, Eren still stands by his beliefs. Of course, when you remove the simplicities of Season 1, those beliefs can be used to do horrible things. Eren's rejection of the euthanization plan leads to his desired outcome, the rumbling. Eren uses the power of the Founding Titan to activate thousands of colossal titans in the wall, with the goal of trampling all the people in the outside world. In Season 4, a lot of time is spent by Eren's friends wondering how he is okay with slaughtering billions of people with the rumbling to achieve his goals. This is a dramatic leap for Eren in their head, but just like with the euthanization plan, Eren's character was already being set up for this in Season 1. The final arc of Season 1 is the assault on Stohess, where the Scout Regiment has to defeat Annie Leonhardt, who they recently learned is the female Titan. Eren, whose Titan form is vital for defeating Annie, struggles to find the will to fight someone he previously believed was a friend. In this situation, Eren is told by Armin that those who are willing to sacrifice nothing cannot change anything, and by Mikasa that they live in a cruel world and they must fight. Upon hearing their words, Eren finds the motivation to transform and begin his battle with Annie. Already, it may be obvious how those ideas could mutate into motivations for the acts we see in Season 4, but just in case it wasn't clear enough, there's one more thing that really hits the nail on the head. Annie, at one point in her fight with Eren, seemingly knocks him out of the fight. In an almost feral rage, Eren finds the strength to charge at Annie, saying, "I will kill the Titans, every last one of them." What I find so important about this line is that Eren has been struggling with the idea that one of his fellow soldiers could be a Titan this entire time, and in this moment, he accepts that Annie is just another Titan, and he needs to kill her just like one. Annie is no longer a person in his eyes, just a symbol of the enemy he hates. By Season 4, the enemy is no longer the Titans themselves, but the entire world, and Eren's resolve to kill the Titans and dehumanization of his enemies will culminate in the rumbling, an action that has the ability to kill the entire outside world. While to Eren's friends, his choices may seem astonishing, to us, who have been privy to his inner monologue and have seen moments like this, there is a little more understanding. Season 1 is full of moments just like this, and all of them are great examples of how you can use character and thematic threads to set up the future seasons of the show and improve the quality of the individual season itself. What works great about both the moments I described in this video is that both work as launch points for future plot developments and as individual moments in the first season. Mikasa telling Eren that the world is a cruel place makes sense in the context of Annie being the female Titan, but also in the context of the entire show. You can look at so many moments in Season 4 and just think back to what Mikasa said, applying it to moments we didn't know would occur when she said it. In terms of character, Eren is so well established in Season 1 that future seasons are not about further exploring his character, but rather recognizing the consequences of his beliefs. Eren does not commit atrocities in Season 4 because there was a dark side of him we were unaware of, but rather because his morally black and white beliefs have trouble existing in the morally gray world he learns he exists in. That is why Season 1 of Attack on Titan is the most impressive season of television I have ever seen. It's the fact that lines expressed in the beginning of the show are still relevant in its conclusion. It's the fact that a character's core philosophy expressed in Episode 12 is still driving his character in Episode 79. It's the fact that the season can operate so well individually while still acting as a stepping stone for the future. It's the fact that despite having to convey so much in terms of plot and world building, theme and character still come first. That is why I love Season 1 of Attack on Titan, and hopefully after watching this, you have a newfound or reaffirmed appreciation for it too. Thanks for watching.